Another day, another video. I'm back at it again, y'all. I know it's been a while since I last uploaded, but hopefully y'all have been seeing the community posts I've been obviously posting on my YouTube channel. If you're not, if you haven't, I just put out information about my Instagram I made. I'll leave that. I'll have all that stuff down below in the description with my Instagram, well, basically my social media platforms, my accounts where I'm at. Of course, don't forget, I also have this crowdfund that's coming up on Kickstarter. Nightfall Eldritch Chapter 1. Everything's complete. The only thing I need help with is the funding. And I'm surprised that I have 11 followers of this, and I'm very blessed. It's a lot more than I thought I would originally have for following for the pre-launch. That's also going to be down in the description as well for the link. And I've been pretty busy with things, but that's okay. That's how life is, and I can't wait. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, let you guys know about it, and also my debut novel as well. I'm going to have that again in the description as well with the links. So everything that I'm mentioning now, y'all can go to the description and just click on what interests you. I also have the censored version of this comic on X and Bluesky, and y'all can check that out and see if you know that's to your liking. Again, I work with mature dark fantasy, so it's for adults. It's not for kids. I just want to clarify. And all right, so other than sound like a hot mess a little bit, that's okay. um, just getting back into the swing of things, man. It's really been a while since I've recorded. I'm sorry. I mean, the holidays are here. Everyone's doing, spending on stuff for Christmas, Thanksgiving. Well, that just passed, but Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which those passed as well. Everyone's gearing up for Christmas and New Year's, and possibly our MLK Day as well. So I'm not sure about all that, but it's man, it's just going to be very eventful very soon. And wow, 'tis the season. So, being on X, mainly because that's where a lot of my following is, and where y'all talk to me at mainly. I came across this post, which got me thinking a little bit, just a little bit. It's about um, character development and writing, and what you think makes for a compelling character. Global Comics did this, made this post, and I've been following them for, I think ever since I first made a Twitter, well now X account. That was back in 2022, and I like what they do. I do. Uh, I know some guys that actually work with them as well, so you know, uh, it, it's just it's good PR. It's good. Everything is good about this company that I know of, and they've been doing a great job of growing. But they posted, how do you approach character development in your writing, and what do you think makes for a compelling character? And here's my thing. I'm sorry, guys. I totally forgot to mention too. I also changed my thing to Hollow March narratives. Uh, I just I didn't always. I mean, I've still got the D Rhino 409 tag right there, or Dr. Hito 409, whichever one you want to call me. I'm fine with. But I figured I'd just do that because I just part of the branding as well. I'm taking things serious, a lot more serious, and I don't mean like we can't have fun or anything, but as in, I want people to be confident in what I put out. So I'm giving it my all, y'all. I really am, as much as I can. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Uh, this is my response to it. I said the way I approach is to go with what feels right. Do I want them to start off good or evil? Should they remain so? If not, what makes them become corrupted or redeemed? And then I also said, I believe those are the simplistic steps that create a compelling character. Now, I didn't go in detail with this. I didn't even really plan to make this into a video, but I have something going on here, and especially a few other um, writers and creative minds as well, like DB Fastbinder, a good guy. Uh, I think, I believe I interviewed him. It's been, if y'all, I believe I did. If I haven't, uh, I should because I love his books. I love his magpie. Geez, man, I cannot talk for the life of me. Um, his Confessions of the Magpie Wizard books, which I still have to complete, but I love him. I'm not really into romance. It's not just solely romance, but he does a good job of balancing that stuff. But he says a character's development is influenced by their motivations. Sometimes it's okay to have the character swept up in events. Sometimes in my current book I'm working on, the character's been drafted, so he doesn't have a lot of options, but there should be clear choices and goals. And he's exactly right about that. Again, my take was simplistic, but reading these are people's comments and what they put in, it really, this is what goes in my mind too as well, and I'm pretty sure y'all's as well who are do the writing or if heck even artwork too as well, because some artists are just like that too with the characters they create. Goes hand in hand, I believe. Got another one from Trade School Secrets. I just read that. Oh man, that's an ad. Ugh, I'm sorry. I'm so. This is what happens when I take a week off. Oh boy. But here's just cool comics. We have two OCs that pop up now and then. Each of these characters have a fully thought out arc, backstory, which guides into the decisions, which is fine too. You know, that's whole the whole plotting versus pantsing thing. I do a little bit of both. I there is definitely some areas where I can improve my writing. I'm not a horrible writer, anything like that. I don't view myself as that, but I do need some improvements, and thinking things out, putting them in your notes, and then just revisiting them. Later down the line, maybe a few months, maybe even possibly a year, and you're just like you have something better. That's, I mean, it's beautiful as well. But I'm the type of guy who likes to write and just let it take its course. That's the most natural for me. That's what I work best with. Not saying that I can't plan out things, but that's where I've always been like that since I was a kid. I've always uh wrote that way. Then and I apologize if we see anything crazy. I haven't really looked through this whole these posts like that. So if you see anything crazy, hey, it's not my fault. Blame Twitter. But got another one by World Breaker Novels. It's difficult for me to make people change slowly, laugh out loud. For the characters that have made changes in my stories, it's usually a drastic personality change or so subtle that you never notice it. And to me, that's a little bit of a problem. But I mean, some people, and I mean, some people can pull it off. But I mean, I'm not really. It's just me. I don't. I'm not really a big fan of like, just having these drastic changes to the personality, and it's just like it depends on the scenario. Does it make sense for them to do that, or doesn't it? It's really all about timing, honestly, within that story. And this is a comic. I can't really read that. That's it's pretty small for me. And yeah, maybe I'm doing a little bit of free advertising for this person, but it's fine. I don't mind. This is what that's the intention of this post anyways, to get people engaged with other creatives and get to talking. So got another one. She's a monkey Tarble comics. The enemies to lovers I want to make requires the characters to change their way of thinking in order to be friends, and then change back again in order to be a couple. Which is that's kind of interesting to see. Definitely wasn't expecting that, but I mean, to each their own with tropes about like the again everything. Even I use tropes, and you know the whole enemies to lovers or friends to foes trope. You know they can they can always work when done right, when done creatively. So I mean, I'm not really against it. You know, that's character development. Donald Anderson says something I started doing is using. Excuse me, I'm gonna pronounce the name. Hirohiko Arakai's character sheet he outlined in his book, Manga in Theory and Practice. You'd be surprised how much inspiration and development comes when you consider the minute details. Sorry, even if it never even appears in the story. And yeah, that's true too. You, there has been plenty of times where y'all, I've been writing for my first book. I wrote for 4 years, and I released it this year. So that's 2020, 2020 to 2024, and it's not like me. I wasn't confident in my writing. It was just that it's my first book, and I'm trying to, and I'm learning as I go. And man, oh man, you have no idea how many hours I sunk in to that, into understanding how to write a book as I go. Or maybe you do, and maybe you've been through that process. You understand how long it takes. But having stuff like these type of books with the character sheets, and how to do this, how to do that, or at least try to help you like have these creative outlines and drafts for characters. There have been scenes where in my book I wrote down, but then I totally altered or I disregarded overall, because it didn't fit into the flow of the book. And yeah, it's called killing your darlings. I mean, I'm biased towards it. I'm not really a big fan of that. I like to have details in my books. If you haven't noticed with my debut novel, if you haven't read it yet, again, the link will be in the description below. But I love to keep that stuff in there, and I do tend to have a constant pace with it. I don't just throw things in there just to for shock value or or filler. Really, I try my best to avoid that, because one, I don't like filler, and two, I don't really do a whole shock value if there's no reason for it, other than just, oh my gosh, I can't believe this character did this. It has to serve a purpose, in my opinion. Got another comment by from Boo Rude Tunes Comics. Oh, they're on Kickstarter. Okay. Character development isn't as important as actually having a character. So many comics and films, etc., are cliche because they do the writer's journey to create a character arc and then don't know where to go from there. Real people don't have huge, fruitful arcs. They go day to day. I Yeah, I don't know, that's not. I'm not trying to do real life. I'm not trying to read things that mirror real life stuff. I want to read things that have these awesome arcs, these quote unquote cliche, because that's what makes the story interesting with storytelling. Character development is important as the actual character, because I'm not, case in point, I'm not trying to watch Star Wars, Disney Star Wars with Daisy Ridley as Rey, and she's able to do this and that without really earning her stripes, or without even having her true struggle, like how Anakin and Luke did. I mean, I'm just, again, yeah, it's very important, because that's a thing that should be a lesson from the Disney trilogy of Star Wars. Is that right there was a complete abomination. There were so many chances for characters to actually have good character development, and all of them were shot down because incompetence. So I disagree with that. Kevin MD says, I think about personality and depth of what they like, and then think of someone I know, and which that helps a lot too. I'll even say this: some characters of mine are based off of aspects of me, and no, that's not me being narcissistic. That's just me using myself as a reference. That's nothing new. That's nothing new. Artists, for example, do that too with themselves when they're doing, like, they're trying to figure out pose, and they just hold they hold a pencil a certain way, or with their hand, and they take a picture of it and use it as a reference point. That's what I do. I use little tidbits of myself, or a friend of mine or a family member, because that's, it's a way of connecting with the character as well. It's I become the character in a way. Again, not doing the self insert, nothing like that, but more of, I start thinking like them. I start adapting their personality. They become me, really, where I'm writing them, because I want them to be authentic as best as I can. I don't want them to, again, be like me or be like a family member or a friend. It's more of, it's just a guidance, really. Maybe I make sense there. Hopefully I do. um, Verkins says, I got help with other writers since 2007. Very cool. I don't know what to say about that one, but okay. Uh, Here's a funny one by Huff the Dragon. I just nice Patrick Star gif. Then Boomers says, character development is directly related to the story being told. If it doesn't advance the story, it doesn't need to be done. A compelling character is one that moves its story along in a realistic and logical manner. And yeah, I agree to a point where it doesn't have to be realistic. Again, dealing with fantasy and all that, but in a logical manner, yes, I do agree with. Because I hate when character, especially in films, when they only can run with certain time frames, if they're not 4 hours long or something like that. But with certain time frames, they rush things. They rush things about character, and you wonder, okay, how did this happen, or how did they do this, and yada yada yada. And then they're like, oh well, we left that out because we want you to buy the book. And it's like, why would I want to buy the book or whatever else if the movie isn't good, or whatever? It's just never never do that. Never try to keep too much stuff out. I've learned that the hard way with Final Fantasy 15, when back when it was relevant, and before they had all those updates, being there day one, literally just playing it, and I'm just like, why is there so much stuff missing? Like, I don't understand how this and that happened. Uh yeah, you never want to do that unless you have a genuine plan of how to do that. Even then I would be careful with selecting what to choose and not to choose. I'm not a professional, obviously, but I'm just going off with experience with what I've seen other people do and corporations do. But again, just to retread what I posted, I said the way I approach is to go with what feels right. One, do I want them to start off good or evil? Two, should they remain so? Three, if not, what makes them become corrupted or redeemed? Again, these are simplistic steps that create a compelling character. So perhaps you guys have more to it. Oh wow, it's already been 20 minutes, but perhaps you guys can add more to it. Uh, I just That's just my take on things. Again, this post is by Global Comics. Great people from what I've seen, and that's it for this video, y'all. Good to be back. Hopefully, I get to see. Hope I get to upload another video tomorrow, and see y'all later. Ciao.